What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. So, Keith Sweat, during one of his shows, he has gone viral for calling modern single women entitled. And after I looked up Keith Sweat and his Wikipedia and just did just a little bit of research on Mr. Sweat, I feel like the backlash that he is receiving is warranted. It's well deserved. But I want you guys to hear what he says exactly, and then I will give my thoughts after we hear the comments from Mr. Sweat himself.
I know y'all don't want. I don't know. I know y'all single women don't want to put yourselves out there like that. It's all good. I don't mind telling you, I'm single. I done met too many entitlement things going on. I can't. You gotta bring son to the table to get son for me. I can't help it. They don't want to cook no more. I wash my own clothes. I iron my own clothes. You gotta do something for me. And I got to iron my own clothes and wash my own clothes. And my mama told me how to iron, wash clothes. I'm good. Sometimes at nighttime, hey friend.
Okay, so I hope I don't get dinged for the music in the background, but Keith Sweat, Keith said that he is, not feeling the women who don't cook, who don't iron. And after I did a little bit of digging for Mr. Sweat, this man is 63 years old and he has 6 children. 63. Sir, I'm not going to age shame, right? But I will say, shout out to Keith for continuing to sell tickets to his shows. People are still there. The woman in the audience was, screaming, I'll cook and, clean and, wash everything, right? So he can cut that check and pay all the bills. But listen, I am, I have to say, I feel like everybody else online. Like, sir, on one hand, seeing Keith Sweat still out here, that's wonderful, right? Continue to do what you love. In my opinion, Keith Sweat is somebody who has never been able to really sing or carry a tune. But he has had a career longer than I've been alive. So if y'all like it, I love it. Okay. In my opinion, he hit a lick and he kept going because he has had one heck of a career for somebody who cannot sing. His voice sounds like a kazoo, in my opinion. But he's still drawing an audience at 63 years old. So shout out to Keith. Continue to do your thing. You know what I mean? We're in a recession. Listen, Will Smith is putting out new music. Mariah Carey is putting out new music. Lil Wayne dropping new. We haven't heard from them in years. Okay. So, the recession indicators are indicating. Continue to make your coins, Keith. I'm not mad at it. However, I will say that y'all got upset when Tracy Ellis Ross said that the men in her age bracket were were weird and just ridiculous. Cause sir, why are you getting on the stage talking about, women can't cook and can't clean and can't, iron? Who is ironing their clothes? Sir, it is the year 2025. If you don't pop them mugs in the dryer, we're not doing the creases down the jeans in 2025. I'm sorry. And I know that he's 63, okay, with the leopard skin blazer on. Leopard blazer. But in all seriousness, I do hope that he finds somebody, because he used to be married to Lisa Wu, right? So I do hope he finds somebody who does want to be a kept woman, who will, cook and clean and wash everything and, iron his clothes and do all the things that he wants them to do. I feel like he might be looking at a certain maybe age bracket or age demographic that doesn't quite want to, iron and stay home and, cook and do all the things, right? I feel like a lot of times these men, especially, entertainers and people who have status, like Shannon Sharp, right? They go after these young women. And I'm like, Keith, sir, because I was taught to respect my elders, you're 63. 63. That is 7 years away from 70 years old. If you don't get somewhere and sat down somewhere, find you a nice lady from the church, okay, who will help you sort out your medications, who will help you, who will put that crease in your jeans and starch them just the way you like it. And stop trying to shame younger women who are living their lives. I feel like, um, people are so consumed with what women are doing, and women in this country weren't even able to open a bank account on their own until 1974. And that speaks volumes to how much people have been trying to take us backwards ever since. You know what I mean? Like when Keith was born, he was born July 22nd, 1961. So he was a teenager when women could open a bank account without their husband's approval. We're not that far, removed from women being financially you know bound, right, by the men in their lives. And I feel like, just with seeing so many, civil rights and liberties being rolled back in this country, it speaks to the mindset of men like Keith and men, older demographics who don't feel like women should be able to be autonomous and to be able to, be breadwinners, because there's power in that, right? There's financial freedom that people are just, they're like obsessed with it. It's ridiculous. Um, so, I feel like he's in that, boomer generation, but it's like, sir, you know, if you want to find a woman out there who will do those things for you, I do feel like there are plenty of women who will. The one who was, on the videotape, or who was, had the clip online, she was screaming, I don't want to say like pick me, but she was, like, I do, I cook, I clean, I, iron and do it, all those things. Um, but I feel like, the women that Keith may be wanting to be with don't necessarily want to be with him, because, again, sir, you're 63, and not just 63, he has 6 children. And it's just like, that's a lot for anybody, especially if it's somebody who's younger. Like, younger people want to enjoy their youth, they want to live their lives. I mean, my heart really does. And I'm not trying to be funny, but it's like people who, find themselves having children at a very young age, or, very, like, they get married young and then regret it. Like, I just, my heart breaks for that, because it's like, once your youth is gone, and it goes by really quickly, it's gone. We're going to be adults for our entire lives. And your youth and is a time of, in my opinion, you should be, exploring and making mistakes and finding out who you are as a person. You know what I mean? It's not for settling down and taking care of geriatric R&B singers. That's just my opinion. But I feel like that's what Keith wants. And he's going to have to, change that ideology if he really wants to be serious and settle down with somebody. Um, because it's like, if you're looking for love, that's great, but you have to look in the mirror and be realistic. Like, you can't be expecting a 20 year old to want to stay home and count out your medications and make sure that your doctor's appointments are all like, that's just, in my opinion, that's unrealistic, unless you get somebody that is just want with you for your money and not, they really don't care about you at all. Then you would have to like sleep with one eye open. Ain't nobody got time for that. So Keith is, like I said, he's receiving a whole lot of backlash for making these statements, because I mean, you have to, he's like, you have to bring something to the table, but it seems like you want almost like a maid or a nurse instead of a partner, and so you have to be willing to bring something to the table as well, other than your money, because nobody wants to feel like somebody is lording that over them. Life is too short. But anyway, you guys, let me know your thoughts about what Keith said, and you know, I want to hear from you about who you think that he should date. Like I said, I feel like he should go to the usher board at the church. There's plenty of mothers in the front row with the prayer cloths who will do all of those things and then some for him, if that's what he wants. But you know, we have to mitigate those expectations to reality, sir. Bring it down out of the rafters. You can be delusional with your singing abilities, but not necessarily in the relationship world. It doesn't necessarily work out. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, you guys. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, Aces. Bye.